welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. Please explain the difference between the Psalm 83 war and the coming war of Gog and Magog. Well, this is one of those questions that I wish was asked on Wednesday night so that we had like 30 minutes to explore it. So allow me to do my best to do it in, let's say, 3 to 4 minutes. Psalms 83 is this great prophetic passage where it talks about literally the entirety of the world, even though there's a mention of specific entities that are trying to cut off what we know as Israel forever. Now, again, what we know is the Jewish people have been despised and hated by almost everybody for all of time as we know it. And there have been significant times, such as the Babylonians in what we know as the 6th and 5th century BC, the Romans in the 1st century AD, where there's been the Inquisition of the Middle Ages. There's been all kinds of times where the Jewish people have been expelled and been attempted to be gotten rid of. Most recently, what we know is the 20th century and the Nazi Holocaust. Now, that being said, Gog and Magog is mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39 as this great kind of final war. Revelation chapter 20, toward the end of the passage, talks about Gog and Magog rebellion of Satan. And then there's this Psalm 83, where it talks about this desire to eliminate the people of God known as Israel. Not to mention, Revelation chapter 16 talks about the kings of the east making their way to annihilate Israel. Now, the reason I went through all that roundabout is this. There are numerous times where we see the people of Israel despised by the people of the world so much to try to eliminate them. But in Matthew chapter 24, Jesus prophesied that when the fig tree, which is Israel, begins to bud, it is the last generation. Now, oftentimes we look at that as like a countdown clock of when the end will come. But I think it's also telling us that Israel will never cease to be. You and I today live in a world where Israel is a thriving sovereign state and entity, and I believe that it will always remain until the Lord calls us home. Now, why is that important? Because the Israel of the tribulation that we see in the book of Revelation will be despised by the Antichrist, chased by him and his entities, and the world at large will try to surround them. What you see in Psalms 83 is a desire to eliminate them, but not the success in doing so. Could it be talking about Gog and Magog? Absolutely, maybe, I don't quite know. Could it be talking about some other random experience? Possibly. Revelation 16, all I know is this. Psalms 83 says that they desire to cut them off from the world, but according to the words of Jesus, it will never occur. Great question. If you have one, send it to AskJeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.